Welcome, yogis. Last time we covered uh, Abhyas Vairagya Abhyanta Nirodha. Is it? We need to understand further. As I said, Patanjali defines each and every word, what he uses, in the light of scriptures and the lineages of yoga. Patanjali is not the only yoga master, by the way. Patanjali takes help of all the Upanishads, etc., what are already available. Patanjali is a later incarnation of it is Shesha avatar. Patanjali will give us understanding of yoga based on that. And the system relies on the innate capacities of mind. There are some capacities of mind inherently available to all of us, whether we understand or not, because we treat ourselves as mind only. And mostly it is tiresome, difficult, or ignored subject for us to evaluate our own capacities and see what can be best used and who we are. All that we don't think. We always are interested in the other. So let us understand what are those innate capacities of mind which we must know, because then only we can utilize them and we can understand how to use mind. Because if Patanjali says chitta vritti nirodha, it means stand still mind. No, we have already talked about it. It's a free flowing natural mind which is uncontaminated by the vrittis, and especially in the beginning klishta vrittis, which create disturbance, ripples, and make and obstruct with the working of mind, or that those vrittis which further take away. There are two directions in which anything can move. It can get better, it can get worse. So at least those kind of vrittis which are uh, klishta, which give us more and more reasons to become more and more unhappy and engaged in those vrittis, which trigger many other vrittis. Those are klishta vrittis. See, if there is a memory which is very good memory for you, and if you recall it, you would be most likely adhering and sticking to that experience for some time. You will not run away from it. However, if you get to a bad memory, unpleasant memory, then it will also ignite certain emotions, certain other thoughts, which will be rooted in your basic fears, basic emotional reactions. Agitation will be there. In the good memories, agitation will not be there. In bad memories, agitation will be there. You'll be agitated. You will not feel at ease. So Patanjali says, first we have to move from dis-ease to ease, and then we will understand further whether this ease itself need to be kept or we need to get away with this also. If something is being colored, our mind, when it is free of all the vrittis, is also an entity. Most people feel, and we also use invariably, that when the mind is free of thought, it is non-existent. When we are not thinking, mind is not there. However, that is not true. Because at different levels of experience, we are primarily mind. If we are not mind, then who we are? How do we recognize ourselves? On the outer, we are only mind. Rather, the most sophisticated, most advanced mind which is available on this planet Earth. If mind is taken away, we are nothing. Are we? If mind is not there, chitta is not there. When I say mind, mind works because there is a system of it. You all understand by now that man, buddhi, ahankara, chittam, etc. So chittam has been referred to the overall whole mind. If you don't have memories of past, if you don't have any options popping up in your mind looking at any situation, then are you human? You are not. If you don't recognize who you are, who you were when you went to sleep, and when you come back to this waking world and you forget who I am, then it simply means you have no mind. Such a person is would be a person of what we call dementia. Mentia, it is also the word of rooted in mind. He is being devoid of the mind. Correct? Such a person will not have any direction in this world. Such a person will not have any purpose. Such a person will even forget to recognize himself who he is in this objective world. Yet that person exists. And one thing we will see that such people who are in this state where they lose their mind, there are two things happening. One, since they forget most of things which are superficial, see, when I am saying superficial, you should understand. You know your name is so and so, but you have come here so many times, you don't remember other names. So this temporary, this superficial recognition is lost. What is dementia? You don't remember the recent things. In fact, you don't remember the current moment. You are not able to recognize, remember moment and relate it to your memory bank. And therefore, your responses and reactions become a very innocent, we can say. See, such people behave like child. Such people become like child, right or not? Only in their responses to current condition, not overall. Because overall they seem like they are a burden to themselves. They're not as joyous as they should be. Look at it. If you start losing your mind, you lose only those active faculties of mind, those some of the vrittis of mind, especially let's say memory. Hmm? If you lose your memory, you will not become any better. Why? Because the memories which you access and which you are being victimized by, they are very superficial memories. You're suffering all the collection of memories here. You have brought all the collection of memories of all the lives you have lived, and those are stored in you as sanskaras. Okay, so a person who loses this faculty or this vritti of memory, pramana, etc., etc., he is only living under sanskaras, and mostly you will recognize our sanskaras are burden on us. Only with the illumined mind, with the active mind, which is ready to recognize its own burden, will be able to free itself from those kind of sanskaras. Correct? Sanskaras are the baggage which we carry, and mostly the baggages are not seen positive. If I give you a 100 kg or 50 kg of gold, or when I give you 50 kg stone to carry, you will be burdened in any case. Whether it is good sanskara or bad sanskara, it's a burden to live here in this world with the sanskaras. And sanskaras, when we are saying how sanskaras are formed, we should know that. First, we should know how sanskaras are formed. Sanskaras are, when we are saying, they are the resultant of continued vrittis. When one vritti comes to your mind, you entertain it, whether in your stupor, whether in your wrong recognition, whether you are due to impact of the company you keep, due to external motivations. If you entertain that vritti repeatedly, that will become your abhyasa. Okay, that abhyasa, when it becomes little deeper, it creates a groove in your mind. That groove is called sanskara. That means if we want to get rid of our sanskaras, we need to question each and every action of ours, each and every emotional response of ours. We should investigate, why am I feeling this way? Or why am I thinking like this? But even this questioning should not become a sanskar, otherwise, continuously engaged in another vritti, which is questioning. Questioning is only for the recognition of why this sanskara has come, with the effort to know its root cause as much as deep we can go in our mind stuff and weed it out, right? But it's a difficult task. It's a difficult task. Questioning will become your nature because you're doing it again and again. It's not possible for you. So what do we do? That we need to understand, and how these sanskaras become much more deeper and they become vasanas. Sanskaras, when they become deeper, when they move to deeper layers of your chittam, they become vasana. They color your system of mind. For example, a woman has a vasana of being woman. Her personality is covered with this recognition, I am a woman, right? Even in the deep sleep, or probably even in the dream, she would. mm, I'm not sure if women dream like men. Even women dream like women only. Look at it. When you forget, when you disconnect from this world also, this reality also, when you create a new reality for yourself, when the mind plays its game, a woman remains a woman. This is vasana. A bhakta remains a bhakta. A bhogi remains a bhogi. A krodhi remains a krodhi. A kami remains a kami. In the dream also. He doesn't become a saint when he's dreaming. Look at that. So those things which remain despite your contact from the world, they are vasanas, right? So if we want to deal with the sanskaras, it is really tough. We will not be able to do it on our own. Questioning again and again and finding the root causes, because so many causes are there which you don't know. For example, if I ask you, do you like this particular bright red? You may say, I don't like it. And you will not find any reason in your memory, in your recent memory, in your experiences of this life. But you will say, I don't like. And you'll not be able to do away with it. You can't create that disliking to liking by just investigating why I don't like. You may give thousand reasons, but the liking per se will not go. You may ignore that impulse and urge. You may behave in a different way, but it will take a while. It will take a long time before you get rid of this sanskara, this vasana which is there in your mind. which is there in your chitta. So there are three things: vritti, sanskar, and vasana. This becomes a cycle. This cycle is very vicious cycle because you entertain this world as per your vasana. A woman goes to the fete, fair, mall, and she will be naturally attracted to the woman section. This is vasana. And once she goes there, she will not question it. She will definitely love it because vasanas are compelling. And then she will be entertaining those vrittis of purchasing jewelry, trying to adorn herself in different things, and all that will further be strengthened. But will questioning it make it more easier for you? No, it is not going to do it. If you start questioning that whether I am a woman or not, should I wear jewelries or not, should I look good or not, and all that happens, will it make you better? No, it will not make you better. So what is the result then? You are going to live like this, but maybe more confused. So this confusion is not going to take you anywhere. This confused persona is not going to take you anywhere because you are questioning, let's say, the questioning ability of mind is only a fraction of mind, capacities of mind. Let's say there are 1,000 million capacities of mind, then questioning something is also a faculty of mind, a power of mind. Yes or no? It can't be bigger than the mind. A portion of mind cannot be bigger than the mind. Mind has it all. Please understand that. The portion of mind, it's a fraction of mind. For example, mind has ability to recognize, mind has ability to question, mind has ability to memorize, mind has ability to stabilize itself, mind has ability to connect many things together, mind has ability to take out inferences. There are so many. One of them is questioning, is it not? Investigating. Investigation is only one faculty of mind, one aspect of mind. Using one aspect of mind, you can't deal with mind. So those people who have gotten into this habit of questioning everything, and they think by questioning, asking question to themselves, they will become free of the monkey mind. They cannot be. Rather, they are supporting it because it's very innate power of mind to question. Now, what do we do? It seems we are trapped and we are never going to come out of it. Questioning is a problem. Not questioning is also a problem. Vasanas are problem. Without vasanas also we cannot conduct in this world. That is also a problem. It's a very complicated way to look at this, is it not? When will we be free? So that is why Patanjali says, okay, you don't be free forever, but at least for a few moments you can attain it. Become free of vritti. It's better. Let mind heal itself. Let mind clean itself. Let mind reorganize itself. Why? Because mind has three innate capabilities. One, mind is capable of samadhi by its own. Okay. Mind is capable of samadhi by its own. You don't have to do anything. Leave the mind to its own ways. Don't interfere. Mind will reach samadhi. It's natural state of mind. Okay. Second thing, mind does is mind illumines things. Means you become aware of, you recognize. That's the illumination thing. So mind will illuminate itself if you don't entertain the world. You see, a mind will illuminate itself only when you don't entertain the world. If you don't entertain the senses, the sensory inputs, if you just disconnect yourself deliberately from the world or become disinterested or unattached with the world, that means you are now not becoming victim of your vrittis, or in turn your vasanas, we can say, right? If something we are finding eager to engage in, and we, by way of our misunderstanding, we don't entertain it for the time being. I'm not saying permanently. Then what will happen? It will be it will be a stage where mind will start questioning itself. We don't have to actually question it. It will illumine itself. It will give you insight. Intuitively, it would know why it was behaving like this, why this craving was there. Not immediately. It's a difficult thing. It has to be done for a long time. So that is why Patanjali is relying on two things. Vairagya is the one, and Abhyas is the second. Okay. Vairagya means now I'm now more interested in engaging in this world so intensely, so passionately. So this passion needs to be created. Why? Because now when we will not give the fodder to mind, imagine the mind, the tendency, wandering tendency of the mind to be a kind of fire. If we will not give the fuel to the fire, this wandering tendency of the mind will still be there, but it will not have objects and sensations and points to hop on in the outer world. So what it will do? It will hop within. Okay. It will not stop from hopping. It's a tendency of mind. This is one of the tendencies of mind. So hopping or movement is another intrinsic quality of mind. One, of course, the natural state of mind is samadhi, but it is embedded with the other qualities. As I said, movement is the quality of mind. Illumination is the quality of mind. And finally, stability is also the quality of mind. We forget mostly that stability, mind cannot be stable. Mind also gets stable. So we are going to use these three innate qualities of mind to deal with itself. And we will train the mind in either of the three. We'll train, we'll utilize, we'll use. But how? But how? You see, mind can solve a problem. Mind can give you insights about a thing only when it uses its innate capacity of being stable. Have you not felt mind being stable at times? You have. You have. When you go to a movie, it's not that you don't watch your movie with a very scattered mind and hopping mind. You are engaged in the movie. Whatever is being presented to you, watch it intently with stability. If you're eating your meal, if you're listening to your favorite piece of music, is mind not stable? Mind is stable. If you're engaged in your sense pleasure, is mind is not working in that group? It is. It is stable. So stability, illumination, and movement, all these coexist. Now we need to use some anchor to keep it away from the fuel, external fuel. When that is the reason when you sit for so-called meditation, and if you want to empty your mind, or if you want to detach your mind from the outer world, you say, I'm getting so many thoughts. It's natural. This is what your chittam has. This is in your storehouse. If you will not entertain the outer, it will hop within. And therefore, you will have multiple points where the mind will go and illuminate those multiple points. This is your content of mind. So don't blame your mind. Mind is using its own innate capacity of movement and illumination to give you a sense of what are you harboring, what are you keeping, what kind of a stuff is there in your chitta, right? But if we sustain this and don't feed mind from the outer side, Mind will illumine things. It will, as I said, mind will gradually start illumining things to its root, and then you will gradually find that mind has eaten up a lot of it. On the surface, it will clean it up. You see, wherever mind goes, even once, in a way, it eats it up, it consumes it, and that is why it loses its interest in that. Mind goes to an object, you see that object, but mind doesn't stabilize itself here mostly. It will illuminate, you would know it, what it is, and the mind is done with it. Mind is not going to stay here for more time. That means it has done its job, no more interested in it. It has consumed it, it has illuminated it to its true potential, right? And then it will move to next. And therefore, what happens if we don't feed while mind is roaming within our mind space and illuminating things, if we don't create further, that is why it is said during meditation, you don't have to resist it, neither entertain it. Resisting means now you are going to activate many more vrittis and vasanas. You are going to resist. No, no, this is not a good thought. Huh? So I will not entertain it. And therefore, you will have multiple other things to feed it. When you will support it, of course, you will go along with it. And you will give your imaginations to it. And it will feed on it, continue to roam around. So what we are going to do here is, we are not going to feed the mind anything. Neither we are going to feed it with our resistance, nor we are going to feed it with our being being supportive of imaginations. So no resistance in terms of its movement, let it move. Second, no support. You don't support it by imagination, giving it the fodder of imagination, right? What are you doing? At least you are not uh, taking out inferences that this is wrong, this is right when the mind moves within. Second, you don't get engaged, entangled in it, the pleasure it is giving by hopping to different kind of things which might seem to you they are pleasurable, because mind will hop from bad memory to good memory to bad incident to good incident. This is your stuff. This is going to, mind is going to consume it now. It will burn, it will illumine it once, and if you don't interfere, it is done with it. Mind is not going to entertain it further, at least for quite some time. Only if you have restrained yourself from it, it will go back again. It will go back again because you have not allowed it to consume it fully, right? So that is why some of our Tantra masters have said that without indulgence, you cannot become Vairagi. But your indulgence should be fear, free of guilt, free of judgment, free of ridicule. Some of them have believed this, believe. Rather than saying that you refrain from engaging in the world, they said, get engaged in the world. But with the full attention of the mind, that you are not going to feed it with your guilt, your fears, your morals, your immorals, whatever you have, whatever your value system, you're not going to interfere, but you'll just be alert. So, bhoga with awareness can also liberate you. This is one of the system. I'm not saying you become indulged in bhoga indiscriminately, because awareness factor is not there. Once you create this awareness factor, then the bhoga can be utilized for it. And that's the point uh, where Vamachar comes into practice. Vamachar is not a place where ordinary minds can be entertained. You have to have a mind which is completely aware of itself, which is free of guilt, which is not giving order to its own activities. Such a mind, when engaged in any bhoga, will be done with it. okay, will not be having that intense longing for that subject to hop again and again, and thus you become free. And I can tell you, bhogis are easily mm, the one who has all the bhoga, all the positives, all the aishwarya in his life, and if he has engaged in this bhoga without any fear or guilt, then it's a possibility that one day he will say, I'm done with it. And if a person has been the victim or prisoner of his morals and all that, and while doing this bhoga, he was also a kind of renunciate all through and saying that I am minimalistically engaging myself in all this bhoga, he will never be satisfied. He will say, I'm not done with it. Understood? Don't drink little. Drink few bottles at a time and then you say, I'm done with it. I can't take it further. I've seen it all. But I'm not saying that if a person has been engaged in such an activity, he will become free. He'll become free only if he is not laden with guilt while he is engaged. He is not laden with fear. He is fully accepting his indulgence in its totality, honesty, and its all glory. Then only he'll be. Otherwise, it is not possible. Your morals are not going to let you come out of it. You'll be engaged in that vicious circle of going back to the bhoga again and again because you were prohibiting yourself. So those who did not question why they are killing others, why, and someday a little illumination can liberate them. Valmiki, Angulimal. They had no sense of guilt or fear what they were doing. They did it with full conviction. And they saw it, they experienced that activity without any fear or guilt. And then someday, in the company of a master, in the company of a teacher, or intuitively, it was illumined. Their mind got little bit illumination. They could see. And they were now they are completely aware. I'm done with it. Look at, okay. So mind is going to pose lot of challenges in itself. Mind is a problematic thing, but mind is a tool which will liberate itself from all the clutches if we allow. Okay. If we support. How do we support? By not feeding it with the fuel it continues to eat and then become stronger and stronger. So with these we can directly work. We can't work on our sanskaras. We can't work on our vasanas. So let us not get to that level of removing our vasanas. And that is why people like us, great masters, come and tell you, you are not a man, nor a woman. You are neither a sinner nor a virtuous. You are Shuddha Chaitanya. But do you believe it? Your vasana is about being a man. Your vasana is of a woman, and therefore you will continue to hear it. And that I am not a man and woman. Guru Maharaj tells me, or the scriptures tell me. But when you will go out, you will behave like a woman only. What is at work? Vasana is at work. The clothing you choose, the kind of behavior you do, the way you move, the way you treat others, the way you greet others, the way you keep distance or come closer to someone depends on this vasana. You are not going to do away with it. It is difficult, very difficult. But I'm not saying it cannot be undone. Last time in my talk somewhere I gave this understanding that people have become free of all the vasanas. Let's talk of Mahavir, who became free of all the vasanas, and another name for this Jainis is called Digambar. They drop even their clothes. They have no vasana left. They don't recognize themselves as body anymore. Male or female is not a issue here. I'm not the body. I'm the body is also a vasana. The most deeply ingrained vasana in us is I am this body. Once you become free of it, it is neither male or female, right? So being a woman, can you become free of this vasana? Yes, possibility exists. Even in Jain Parampara, in all the Tirthankars, there was one woman who suddenly became naked. She was Malli Bai. Jainis declared and created that Malli Bai into Mallinath because they thought, I mean, all the Tirthankaras are men, and therefore, so they created Mallinath. In the same way, in Kashmir, there was this young woman by the name of Lalla. In Kashmir, in last gone by centuries, if you go to real Kashmir, now Kashmir is fully radicalized and fully Islamic and all that. So there they knew only two names. One was Allah, another was Lalla. Lalla was a young woman who had come out of all the vasanas and dropped her clothes in her youth, in her radiant youth. She became free of all the clothes because she dropped all the identifications. She could not see a point of covering her body anymore because she dropped the body identification itself. And such a young, voluptuous woman in her youth drops all the clothes, but is still so gracious. In her company, you can't look at her the way you have been looking at woman's body because she herself doesn't identify like that. And I can tell you this happens uh, with the misplaced identity. Some girls start behaving like boys, and ask the boys. They will not look at such girls. Some boys, is because of misplaced identity, they start behaving like girls. It happens. You may have seen. Ask the boys, ask the girls. They are not interested. They are not interested in such boys. So your behavior governs who will be attracted to you. Your own identification governs who will look at you in what way. When you leave your body identification, you are not a woman, you are not a man, because you are not identifying yourself with that. And therefore, even if a man comes with such a beautiful young woman, she is not a woman at all now for that person also. Because the woman herself has dropped that identity. Look at it. So, our vasanas define the way others treat us. This should be very, very clear. The world is treating us the way we are being treated because of our own vasanas. Now, those who say, I'm not being treated fairly, there must be some vasana in you which ignites other people to come and slap on your bad head while you're walking on the road. Must be some vasana. There are some people who feel victimized, who feel tortured in a given situation by people, by others. Why? There is some vasana. There is something. There is some deep sanskara running in them, which is attracting, which is making others behave in such a way. So, what is being done to us? Who is responsible in this sense? In this sense, we are responsible. If world is treating me like a woman, I am having this vasana of being a woman, and I am being recognized as woman. Simple. So let us get back to abhyas. Now, what should be abhyasa then? How we should attempt it? I have given you one understanding that abhyasa of vairagya is one. Okay. Of course, this is the most important one. But this only doesn't work. Why? Because our vasanas will not allow us to remain in vairagya for long. You see? Howsoever vairagya you are infused with, you can't overcome it. You can't overcome it. Now what do we do? So vairagya, तो वैराग्य हो गया. I am now having vairagya. Will it make you less attracted to the vanity? No, because it is your vasana. So what do we do? Vairagya only is not going to solve the problem because our vasanas are deeper. Vasanas are more power. And our whole life we will be trying to be in this external vairagya. And I'll tell you, the vairagya is also later on, probably you would recognize the vairagya is also of two types. This is lower vairagya, which we are trying to develop by not engaging or not entertaining the world. This is lower vairagya. So say, अच्छा, इससे ज़्यादा भी होता है. Is there any higher vairagya also? I thought that if I am done with it, I'm a vairagi. Yes, it exists. The lower vairagya is about creating dispassion in what we know. This is lower vairagya. What we have experienced, what we have known, creating dispassion in this is lower vairagya. Then what is higher vairagya? The higher vairagya will be becoming dispassionate to things which we have not even known. When they become known, we remain dispassionate. See, what you have already seen, as I said, what you have already known, as I said, you may become indifferent. It's not a problem. But suppose I give you a siddhi right away, in which you will be able to walk on the water. Will you remain dispassionate for it? No. No, because this is something new. So if you are not rooted in higher vairagya, you will entertain it and you will start enjoying it for some time. Please understand. The vairagya, if you are developing vairagya, it's nothing great. You can do it because you already know it. If a person says, I am no more interested in women, that means so far you were interested. I don't want to indulge in this. So far you have been indulging in this. Only known thing. You can have vairagya of not going to a room which you have been going. Suppose I lock a room, out of 10 rooms I lock one room and you have never been there. Now think whether when you pass by and say there is a slip, there is a board, don't peep in it. Okay, suppose, then are you really going to take it that way? Only if you have higher vairagya you can. Otherwise, you will not. Please understand that. So, just like that. So, vairagya, we are working in vairagya, okay, but it's a lower vairagya. It is not going to take us to that highest. It will create ground for it. It will create congenial atmosphere for us. But it will not liberate us, by the way. It will not make us see or recognize the reality. Okay? Because reality is both known and unknown together. Look at it. So, what do we do now? We are again faced with this question. What do we do now? Because if we want to get into yoga and we don't know what to do and only read this theory, Abhyas Vairagya, Abhyam Tan Nirodha, and we continue to practice Vairagya, and that too masters are going to say, you are not practicing a higher kind of Vairagya, it's a lower Vairagya. It is not going to liberate you. It is not going to put to that in front of the truth what it is. It's difficult now. What do we do? Let us focus on what we can do. What masters say, what we should be doing. You see, we can only work on vrittis. Patanjali, after understanding the yoga and being a yogi himself, the master yogi, the avatari yogi, he is telling us that the vrittis are the only thing where you can work. And let us utilize these three capacities of mind in dealing with our vrittis: movement, stability, and illumination. These are the three capacities of mind. Hmm? Let us use them. Mind moves, okay. Mind illuminates, and mind stabilizes. Wherever it wants to stabilize, it stabilizes. Wherever it wants, based on vasana. Okay. So we will allow this mind to work in the self-healing mode, self-purging mode, self-cleaning mode. One of the ways is maunam. Maunam means no comments, no commentary. Maunam does not mean you don't speak. Maunam means you speak when it is the question of life and death. Okay. Otherwise, you don't speak. Can you do it? Maunam. Let the world go to hell. Let the world burn. Let the house be on fire. I will not create internal dialogues. Maunam is of two types. Speaking is one. So, and internally getting so many thoughts, stream of thoughts is another. What we are doing is, now by not speaking, are we not speaking in our head? No, we might be chatting. We might be engaged in the dialogue, self-dialogue. So, Maunam. And Maunam cannot be practiced unless until you have mastered this lower form of dispassion, Vairagya. Look at it. Hmm? The child is not doing the way you want him or her to behave, and you are still having a raga for her growth, her settlement, etc. You're not going to allow that freedom. You'll be engaged in correcting her or his ways. You can't be maunam if you find your child smoking. Hmm? And I can tell you, your maunam at that moment can be killing to him. Don't say a word, just be. It's more effective than to confront. I can tell you this. Everybody knows what is right, what is wrong. You don't have to teach. You thought Monam is not helpful. I can tell you Monam is the best medicine for everything. Even if you find someone doing anything moral, immoral, don't say a word. Maintain your calm. It does not mean don't say a word, but internally start boiling. No, if you are doing that, then you have lost the plot. You have lost the plot. So your presence itself will correct things if they ought to be corrected for you in this life. Your presence itself. Your insistence won't. Let me clarify. Your insistence is not going to correct things or change things in your life. Your efforts are not going to. Your words have never been successful in changing people's behavior and attitude and things for themselves and towards yourself. Your monam can. Now, only if you recognize the power, then you will practice it. This is what it is. If you have faith in this, then only you will practice. If you have control over it, that yes, I will see, I will hear, but I will not agitate myself. Let it happen the way it is happening. My own presence itself, if it is sufficient, it will do its job. And I can tell you, good or bad, dead statues have been able to bring about most positive changes in this world, in the lives of people. Dead statues, they don't speak. If they have some power they have, because you have a power of self-correction. You go in front of a murti, just of a saint, a deity. Do you think the deity lives there? Literally, no. Do you think the Sai Baba murti or some sannyasi's murti in front of you is it a live murti? No. But when you stand in front, you start correcting yourself, you start behaving, you start minding your inner thoughts. Why? Is that murti or idol is saying something to you? No, maunam. It's your inner way of self-correction. So if your murti is not able to, your the murti means your this presence, physicality is not present. I mean, is present and not able to bring about the changes, the transformation, the positives in this world. Don't think that your engagement in this world will bring that. Your presence is sufficient. So, as I said, if it is a matter of life and death, you can go forward and say a few words, but not insisting. Because when you insist, it is raga or dvesha. It is not vairagya. You want to deal with this world? Deal with your own children? Then first disown them. If you want to deal with your own people, first disown them. Then only you can deal with them without getting perturbed. Ask Hitler's parent, ask Dawood Ibrahim's parent, did they want their child to become like this? They would not have tried, do you think? But this is how it was going to be. Or maybe they have spoiled it by beating up, by confronting, by doing all that. You are hardening that habit. Don't engage. Maunam. But maunam will come only with dispassion. I disown it. Disown it. We become so much interested in others' life. They are other only. Don't think anybody is as your own. They are not your own. If so far you have become clear, at least this much, I am nobody's responsibility, nobody is my responsibility. As much as everybody is responsible for themselves, I am also responsible for myself. This much, if it is there in your mind, it has gone drilled down in your head, then you can move to Vairagya. Otherwise, Vairagya is not possible. Everything is the Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Now go and intervene between Russia and Ukraine also. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. For every problem under the sun, you are required that. Will your mind will ever be at peace? At peace? So the moment we start thinking anything as our own, we are problem. We are in deep problem. So Vairagya. Okay. Now, this is one practice as I had told, and I have just elaborated a little bit because Vairagya, as you said, Vairagya, I am practicing Vairagya. But is it visible in your life? The maunam will be reflecting that state of your inner Vairagya. It should not be, any event should not disturb you. Any event should not create too many ripples for you. That is Vairagya. I am not interested in going to movies. Is not Vairagya. I no more wear flashy clothes, not Vairagya. But I keep my peace of mind. Is Vairagya. Vairagya only can give you peace of mind. So try that. Second, and if you say that is a higher ask, please give me little thing, something lower than that. Then second thing with this you can do is don't indulge in unnecessary conversations. Don't speak unless until it is required. Minimum you can do. Don't comment on things arbitrarily. Before you speak, ask yourself, is it necessary to speak? And as I say, 999 times out of 1000 times when you ask yourself this question, is it really necessary to speak? You'll get an answer no. So do not speak. Okay. And never regret not speaking. Because sometimes, अभी मैंने पहले बोल दिया होता तो आज ये नहीं था, forget it. You don't run this world. If I would have said this earlier too and I would have objected to it, this would not have happened. No, forget it. Don't become the master of this universe that you are running it. And as if you would intervene in things and things will be all right. No. As if you would have intervened and objected and said and taken a strong view about something, it would have changed. No. Right? So if you have not spoken on an occasion out of your this answer of no, it is not needed. I don't think it is necessary to speak. And tomorrow something happens pertaining to that. Suppose you wanted to and you did not. टुमारो यू विल रिग्रेट. आचार्य जी ने बोला था इसलिए मैंने बोला नहीं. मैं बोलना तो चाह रही थी बट मैंने पूछा अपने आप से कि बोलूं कि ना बोलूं. मैंने बोला नहीं. अब देखो ये पति मेरा क्या क्या करता घूमता है. उस दिन मैंने बोला होता तो मैं, अरे कम ऑन, डोंट रिग्रेट, गिव फ्रीडम. क्योंकि ही इज नॉट योर ओन फर्स्ट प्लेस. नथिंग इज माइन. लेट देम डू व्हाट दे आर डूइंग. You are not going to carry their burdens. You're not going to carry their pleasures. You're not going to carry their anything with you. You'll not take along even a needle with you. Okay? Forget about what you are accumulating. So if there is a financial loss or financial gain because you spoke or did not speak, does not matter. I'm not going to take it along. Vairagya. Okay. Speak bare minimum. तो आप लोग तो बहुत ही शुद्ध सिद्ध हो चुके हो. I always ask you any question, you don't speak. I know you people are already there almost. I don't speak. Whether even if I have question, I ask myself, do I need to ask this question? And the inner voice tells me, no. And I keep quiet. So you people are already there. But not during only these kind of discourses. Please behave this way all the time. If somebody asks any comments, then say. Even you people don't say no. Say it like this. When I ask, do you have any question? Same way. Deal with the life. Any question, any comments? Like this. Say like. पड़ोसी की बीवी दूसरे के साथ भाग गई. Any comment? And when you will keep quiet, you will recognize. मैंने भी तो सोचा था कई बार भागने का, वो भाग गई. अच्छा हुआ. But when you start giving your commentary, you will forget what you had thought. Only in your silence you will recognize it. तो कुछ गलत नहीं किया, उसने कर लिया, हमने सोचा था हम नहीं भाग पाए. So then only you will create that tolerance and understanding. As I said, if you not tunnel fodder to your mind, it will give you real understanding. What the intuitive understanding will come. You see, this is what I said. वो भाग गई. If you start giving commentary, you are giving fodder to mind to jump here and there. But if you don't give, mind will tell, भाई तुमने कितनी बार सोचा कि वो आदमी अच्छा है, उसके साथ रहते, चलो इसको छोड़ देते. बट तुमने नहीं किया, उसने कर लिया. मन में आएगा, अपने आप समझ में आ जाएगा, नहीं ठीक किया, चलो ठीक है, सब ठीक ही है. Let us be honest, and this honesty comes only in silence. How does it matter? So this is the way for today. This part on abhyasa, which I wanted you to give. I hope you have somewhat understood what it is like. As I said, mind will illumine only if we don't give it fodder. It will eat up all your sanskaras gradually, only if we don't create new vrittis. Okay. So vairagya, even if it is lower vairagya, don't shy. Practice it. Hmm? And live in right kind of understanding. Illumine thing. Don't color it. Vasanas color it. Don't color your world with your vasanas. Hmm? When you say some people are my own, you are coloring it with your vasana. You always wanted some people to be your own, and you have found some guinea pigs to be called your own, and now you are happy. And therefore, all your thoughts, actions, everything is about them. When you will be silent, you will be investigating. Then you know, how can I call them my own? How and why should I call them anybody my own? Let me first define what is my own. Own means what? Question it. Sometimes question it. Sometimes remain silent. Sometimes refrain from making unnecessary comments. Little bit. I mean, I'm sure you people are not putting everything at stake to become an enlightened person. I'm sure. So थोड़ा थोड़ा करते रहो, ठीक है ना? थोड़ा थोड़ा लाइट आता रहेगा, right? Even that is enough. You're not putting anything at stake, by the way. Neither your finances, nor your reputation, nor your relationships, nor your convenience, nor your comfort, nor your life per se, whatever it is. You're not putting anything at stake, and you people are just enjoying. You're enjoying the tag of being spiritual. Enjoy it. This is also good enough. This is not your priority, I know. So I'm also kind of satisfied with my own efforts and your own endeavors. I'm satisfied because despite all this, you people are still hooked on to this tag of spirituality. As I always say, take it lightly, take it easy. But then don't take anything seriously. That is my insistence. That's the only addition. You start taking everything else seriously, but not this seriously. That is a problem. I say don't take it seriously, but then equally don't take anything seriously. You will be happy. So don't think that your teacher doesn't have a way. I have a way. The way you are living, even that way. The way you are proceeding in this so-called your spiritual endeavors, even that way. I have a way. The way you are impacted or not impacted, you need to look by these sermons, by this knowledge, by these discourses, by these practices. The same way, don't get impacted by the world also. That's it. And you are enlightened, I can tell you. When I tell you, you are Brahman, Parabrahman, Shiva, you don't take it seriously. When somebody calls you idiot, don't take that too also seriously. But that's it. That much I'm expecting. Same path. I'm telling you the right way. If you're not taking it seriously, don't take anything as seriously. That's it. So let's pray and then we will leave. Next time we'll discuss other things. Okay. Oh, सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः, सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः, सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु, मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्. ओम शांति शांति शांति. ओम शिवम.